Namaste. This breakup hurts more because of your narcissistic parent. There was a patient who was telling me about some trouble that she was having after she was on medical leave because she got into a fight with her boyfriend. They broke up. He moved on. Multiple reasons behind it, but one of the big ones was her being friends with her ex-boyfriend on Facebook and Instagram that she hated. She herself mentions that she would slip up sometimes and she would have her phone out and she would get notifications on Facebook from him messaging her. They would be arguing. So it wasn't like they were trying to get back together. I think that they were only together even for just like a couple of months. But they were arguing and then saw the ding. I don't think she was very self-aware. Saw the ding and then said, "What are you doing?" And what she was telling me is how she needed validation from men because her dad was narcissistic, didn't listen to her, didn't pay attention. She had 2 sisters, 2 brothers. He paid attention more to the brothers, didn't pay attention to the girls. She felt she needed external validation from men, and her fighting with her ex-boyfriend and him giving her attention sometimes was enough when she would get in a fight with her boyfriend at the time. I just came home from school. At the time when I walked in, I had shaved my mustache. My dad wouldn't allow me to do that. I'm walking in, I'd shaved my mustache. I knew I was going to get in trouble, but not this kind of trouble. I'm in the middle of the room. I'm about 10 years old, and my dad is beating the crap out of me, just hitting me left, right, like this. You know, I could hear it right in my mind. That means put your hands down. Put your hands down. And he would be doing that while he's saying that. And yeah, I would just take the beatings. What am I going to do, you know? I mean, it's not like I was in the hospital, but enough for me to get like black eyes. And when he would see that, he would start hitting me somewhere else. My aunt was living with us, and she took me away from him. But let's think about it from his perspective. We're not going to think about it from mine, because what I can say is that, oh, everything that happens is because of my narcissistic dad. Of course, I can continue that narrative for the rest of my life. But what was he thinking at the time? What happened was that he had resentments towards somebody else. He was in court trying to file for something. You know, individuals with narcissistic personality disorder really do find themselves in court a lot because it's everybody else's fault. And we'll go over the traits versus narcissistic personality disorder and how you can identify that better. He had filed for bankruptcy twice at that time. He was gay. He didn't like that. What he was doing is he was displacing his fears on me. And throughout my time in eye movement desensitization reprocessing therapy, I reprocessed it from his mind. You know, we talk about we got to forgive others, but I needed to forgive myself for the things I had done to other people before I could dare forgive anybody else. I'm sitting down with one of my ex-girlfriends. She was talking about how she liked these sunglasses. I did not like these sunglasses. What would happen is that I would ask her, don't wear them when you're around me. Probably just like that. What a butthead I was. She would say no. She was like, I'm going to do this. What happened there? Right then, what would happen is that I would stimulate my mind, amygdala, norepinephrine, cortisol. Everything is firing. I perceived disrespect. And then I tried to control her by being condescending. You don't look good in those glasses. What's happening here is that I'm deflecting my fear on her. I didn't think I looked good in a lot of things. I was overweight at the time. I was overweight by 60 pounds for several years, 30 pounds. I was underweight when I did drugs. I've been up and down, had an eating disorder for several years. And sure, I could have blamed it on everything else, but until I understood that I was condescending to her because I was condescending to myself, I would not have known that I had narcissistic traits. Let's try to understand narcissistic personality disorder versus narcissistic traits. In the description, you're going to be able to find the differences between narcissistic personality disorder and narcissistic traits. But for the purpose of this video, we'll try to use some of the stories to try to understand what's happening when it comes to narcissistic personality disorder versus the traits. One important thing, the biggest distinguishing factor, is that they don't know. When my dad was beating me, he didn't know. When the girl had her messages from Facebook that were popping up, she knew she was doing something, but still she blamed, still she deflected her fears. Me, I still blamed, deflected my fears. I was condescending because we had narcissistic traits, because we were aware of it. In narcissistic traits, you have insight, you can reflect and grow. Do you remember that time where you felt you did something wrong to somebody, but you blamed them anyway? That's a narcissistic trait. You seek validation in moments of insecurity. She's trying to text her ex when she's still in a relationship on Facebook, getting messages on Instagram too from him, by the way, and other men, by the way, because she blames her dad because he was a narcissist and it's his fault. So what people call daddy issues. Struggles with empathy, especially under stress. Now that's still a narcissistic trait. It's their fault. Controlling in specific situations. But you did this to me and it's because of this. You're not listening to me. That's narcissistic. Takes partial responsibility, but may rationalize or deflect. You know, I know my delivery can be bad sometimes, but I know what I'm talking about. Narcissistic trait. That's because usually they don't believe in themselves, they don't validate themselves internally, so they seek external validation. Here's narcissistic personality disorder. No insight into their impact on others. My dad, honestly, as I write these things down, he didn't know because he tried to do things for me. He bought me a skateboard. He took me to Disneyland. He got me out of jail, got me into med school. Why is it that he wanted me to fail in med school? If you see one of my keynotes, I talk about how my dad wanted me to fail on my final year exam on the first day. And he was like, I hope you fail 10 times over. He didn't believe in me, constantly beating the belief out of me. You're not good, you're not good, you're not gonna be good, you're stupid, you're dumb, all the time. Somehow it just didn't shake me though. I couldn't shake it out of me, the self-belief, but I had to believe in myself by writing over several years. Here's narcissistic personality disorder. Expects admiration and constantly needs validation. It's his fault that I went to court and it's because of him that I lost in court. And then no insight into that. Lacks empathy consistently, entitled and controlling in most relationships, blames others and never takes responsibility. You can look at the DSM-5 criteria, but just understand that if there's somebody that you know that has narcissistic personality disorder and you feel you've been affected by it, you got to leave them. I'm not giving you advice, I'm just inspiring you. You probably don't want to be around anybody that blames and tries to control you. The second thing is that if you've done that to other people that you feel are weaker than you, I don't know what that looks like. It can be anything. It can be even you getting mad at a pen, throwing something on the ground, getting mad at a pet, getting mad at an ex, texting something bad about somebody. Those are all narcissistic traits. Why does this happen? When you realize that you're repeating your dad's patterns, you understand from their perspective, quietly, slowly, and repeatedly by writing, that's when things can change in your prefrontal cortex where emotional freedom happens. A lot of the times people talk about emotional regulation. If that works for you, I would do that. Didn't work for me. What works for me is emotional freedom. What is that? Where I have compassion for myself, I empathize with myself, I love myself, I forgive myself. I don't worry about anybody else. That's my mission, vision, purpose. In the practice of mind hygiene, I worry about nobody else. I only worry about what I did. Why was I condescending to that girl, that poor girl who had to hear me say, you don't look good in glasses? That's because I hated myself. I didn't love myself. What did I need to do then? And what did I do? I was single for 10 years, 7 years on purpose, self-hate to self-love, meaning the narcissistic traits that I had by blaming, talking bad, talking crap about others, needing validation for it, it's their fault. Trying to control people because I wanted to control my mind, regulate my mind, was my prefrontal cortex not being activated in the right way. What happens when you write is that it releases oxytocin, lowers cortisol, and shifts your brain out of survival mode. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. Imagine if you write and say, I love myself because I've accepted my narcissistic traits. Imagine how good that's gonna feel. You don't have to do anything. In the practice of mind hygiene, there's nothing to do. And it's not venting, it's neurological reprocessing. And if you were to do this, you would have self-directed therapy. I'm so glad that I said that because in these videos, I don't give advice. I just inspire through my actions. Look at me. Right now, I just went through a breakup. That's why I started making these videos. I'm still single, but I had to write down to see what was going on. And at that time, I knew I wasn't a good person because I didn't like myself. I didn't like that I was overweight. I didn't like that I ate bad. I didn't like that I blamed people. I didn't like that I smoked. I didn't like that I played video games. I didn't like that I lied down. I did not like those things about myself. And until I had to love that limitation, I was gonna be single. And if somebody's not gonna appreciate what I do, meaning I love the mind, like this is what I wanna do for the rest of my life. My mission is to help people believe in themselves. My vision is all the money that we make, I wanna put into mind hygiene filtration systems in Haiti, India, Syria, Ukraine, all the developing countries in Africa. I wanna fund it. and I want to feed the poor there, and I want to create systems, mind hygiene curriculum, where we can have people believe in themselves, where they don't need me, a doctor, a therapist, or a medication. You can do this by yourself. Sure, you can ace your life with mind hygiene. A is accept your awareness. Look, I have narcissistic traits. C, communicate with compassion. I'm writing it down. I'm taking time to understand myself. E is embrace your empathy, understand it. S is soften the process. Don't make it seem like it's hard. And keep on writing for 1 to 90 seconds every 90 minutes for the rest of your life. That way you can develop a bond with yourself. How are you going to know what you're thinking if you don't write? And the reason why I'm single now is because I want to just inspire people. I'm not going to be on Bumble. I'm not going to be on Match. I got ghosted. I don't feel she did anything wrong. I don't feel I did anything wrong. But it's been several weeks now. I just feel good right now. And you know, I'm actually going to probably ask somebody out in person, which I have not done. And the reason why I can do that is because I believe that I can do it, because I believe that I offer value in a relationship. And I've believed that for the last few years. Even though I was single for a total of 10 years, I was in a couple of relationships after I developed love for myself. And then I was single for another 2 years in between another relationship where I put this framework into the relationship. God bless her, and I wish her well on her journey. She knows that we both put a lot of work in together, and it was really fun. So it was nice being with her because I was able to prove the framework in the relationship. But we're just at different points in our life, and you know, I wish her the best, and I know she wishes me the best too, and we had a good time. You know, it was good to be with her, and I'm so grateful for the learning that I had. But after this ghosting recently, I realized that all of the years I spent alone was for somebody to inspire from it, that you can develop this oxytocin bond with yourself. You can decrease the cortisol by yourself. Sure, ACEs with mind hygiene. There's medical evidence to support it. I've tested it on 4,100 patients over several years. The preliminary data is out there. The main data is going to be the spiritual connection, mindful, physical, and financial connection that you develop with yourself, where you rely on yourself and you don't need anybody else. That's the big idea here. And if this resonates with you, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also drop a comment and let us know what you're thinking, how I can improve the video, give me a coaching session, and we'll see you in the next one where we're going to talk about you can love yourself. You just had a narcissistic parent. Namaste.